everyone, it's Alexis with Create Your Future, and we're back today with another video. And you guys, today we are talking about how in order to get something that you want, you have to believe it to receive it. Ivan and I are joining you, and we have super cute outfits on. We're also talking about how to be your own Cinderella, how to be the superhero of your own story, and to really take ownership of your self-concept through some fun ideas. So before we get started, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you for hitting the bell icon, and you get notified every time that we post new videos. Ivan, just jump in, say hello, and tell us your initial ideas about this.
Hi, everyone. So I had a success story this week with a client who we were talking about, obviously it's SP related. And, she had not had contact with her SP for a couple of months. They had broken up and they were like in a really harsh situation during the pandemic. The pandemic itself brought like a lot of uncertainty to a lot of us. And, it's been like somewhat of a roller coaster for all of us. So she felt a little confused throughout the whole thing, and that reflected within her relationship, which caused it to like end. So she started learning about manifestation and everything, and she through the process she would start losing a lot of focus because she was just not feeling inspired, and she was feeling like very like it feels like it's not working for me. It feels like like I struggle and my affirmations feel hard. My intentions don't feel good. I visualize and I can visualize something completely different. So when she came on, it was funny because she was like in her bed, in her PJs. And like, I started asking her, well, what are some things that you do for you? And she tells me immediately, it's like, well, what else is there to do? There's nothing to do right now. We're locked up, we can't really do much. And I was like, but what do you do for yourself, through this whole thing? Like, how do you show up for you? And she's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I'm thinking, what do you do like that keeps you a little bit into the habits of, a regular life? And she says, well, nothing. It just seems like, I don't know, I don't even get dressed up anymore. So then I asked her, I was like, okay, so when you were in your relationship, did you get dressed up? Like, were you getting dressed up? She's like, yeah, in the beginning, I would get dressed up all the time. I go like, and how would that make you feel? She's like, well, I would feel great, because I was doing things. He's like, okay, so are you just getting dressed up for someone to feel special? And then she's like, well, and then she kind of like paused. I was like, we need to show up for ourselves, remember, in order for the world to show up for us. Mm-hmm. So I told her, like, you need to start putting a lot of work within yourself and, like get dressed up, look at yourself in the mirror and see how incredible you are. Like, even if you're going out to the grocery store, put on a nice shoe, put on a little fancy flirty dress, or, put on a little sport jacket, whatever, and have, and show yourself that this is a person that you want to be. Because remember, living in the end is being that which you already have, so if you already have everything you want, you're going to show up being proud and feeling all sexy and fun. And, and I always see, like, I love to dress up. I don't know if you noticed, but I throw in a little fashion for you guys. But I love dressing up. And, I understand that times have been hard. But I like to show up for me by dressing up and not losing that sense of me even through the, hard times. So I put on a button-up shirt and, jeans and sneakers, but, I look at myself and I feel good and I feel empowered. So I shared that with her. She's like, I'm going to start doing that. Well, we fast forward to a couple weeks later, she called me. She's like, oh, I'm so excited because first of all, I've been feeling so sexy and I've been like putting on dresses, even walking, going for walks, and I even put on huge straw hat, and I'm having fun with it. And, I've been doing my manifestation, and I got a call from my SP, and she was super excited. And she's like, and now, like, it's really true what you say. Like, when we show up for ourselves, the world shows up exactly how we want them to show up. Because I've been seeing myself in my mirror and saying, oh, I feel so sexy. I feel so good. And my affirmations feel good because the affirmations are about me. And when my SP called me, he's like, I really miss you. You're very, and when we had these other conversations, he's been telling me that I'm sexy, that he always liked how I look. And she'd been even sending him little pictures like throughout the day, like, oh, I wear this, I'm going for a walk, or I'm going to the store looking like this. But she's feeling herself, and she's knowing that she's not sending the text expecting whatever, what she expected before. She's just knowing, I feel good, so the response is going to be good back. And so it was like she was super excited, and she's like, I'm just finding more inspiration to go into, to get more, and then to work on the commitment, to work on, even getting to the point of marriage, which is the ultimate goal that she wants. But that was the success that she showed up for herself by, putting that effort that we always do. It's not only about we're getting ready for the club or we're getting ready for a date. It's like, let's get ready for ourselves. Let's show up for the day the way that we want the day to show up for us.
Oh, I just love that. So you guys, that's why Ivan and I are dressed up for all of you today, because we wanted to show you. So Ivan's at home. I'm obviously at home, and we're both at home. And we decided like, oh, we're going to also be an example for everyone about how we understand the current circumstances of our human reality and this whole pandemic thing, but don't use it as an excuse at this point, especially in how far we are in consciousness with this whole experience. Get back to who you were before all this happened, or even be better than before, because now you can do all this on purpose. Like I think a lot of people, like your client, found manifesting maybe because they were at home so much. And we don't want to be so focused on manifesting and so focused on the mental diet that you like negate your physical body and that you forget that all these things, like me just putting on this red bow. So I told Ivan, like, I'm a present for him today. So I'm also a present for everyone at Create Your Future. Putting on this bow, I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, I feel so cute right now. I feel like a little present, because it naturally delivers that thought, right? So it's like, these things, you guys, are so important. So don't forget these things. Like, don't just get so focused on like mental diet affirmations that you're like not going to the gym or you're not out in the sunshine. Like all your whole physiology pushes out is how I like to look at it. Like all of you create your reality. So it's just such a beautiful thing that your client was able to, through your guidance, like do some of these things that she had kind of forgotten, right? And it really helped her get on track, because it really is all about her.
Yeah. And, like in women and guys too, like, we always seek either, like, I always feel like it's like our superhero, like our armor, this is like how we showcase ourselves to the world. And it really shows a representation of who we are, whatever it is that our style is, it is like how we represent ourselves. So it's interesting because one of the things I was thinking about this week, because my brother had texted me a message that the new Cruella Disney movies trailer had came out, and that's my favorite villain. So I was like, I always hear like a lot of people talking about how Disney princesses, they always say like, those princesses, because of them, like we all live in this like reality that are Prince Charming. It's like, and I was like looking into that, and I was like, you know what? Cinderella came to mind. And I was like, poor Cinderella, she's a good example of a great manifester. And let me tell you why. Because the girl became an orphan. She inherited an awful stepmother and two awful stepsisters. She lost everything of who she was. She was limited to what she could do, but along the way, she kept that faith. And, and the reason I point Cinderella out is because since my brother sent me that message, I was like, Disney. I was looking for something Disney related because I think Disney is really magical for a lot of people. And there is a lyric to a song, which is, no matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. And I was just like,
oh.
And, and it was like, this girl goes through the whole thing, the whole journey, like we've talked it before. And, when she gets, the magic within herself and she gets the dress and she's like the belle of the ball, she goes out there and she gets her Prince Charming and everyone's looking at her. She's getting the attention. I mean, she gets the prince to have her search all over to see who fits that shoe that she left, And that is like, again, that was her armor to show off, even though there's more to her because it was belief within her, what it is that she wanted. Like there was this sense of fantasy that came with her getting the big old gown, putting on the glass slipper and getting out there and having, you know, getting the attention. So you put on your dress, you put on your jacket, you put on the shoe, and go out there and be Cinderella and attract what you want.
I just love that. And you guys, it's so funny because Ivan didn't even know this, but I showed him this before we started, that no one can see this, okay? So I have these shoes on because they deliver the same kind of message to my physical body, and they happen to match my bow, and I'm really into fashion. So I have these shoes on. You guys don't know that I have them on. Ivan didn't even know, but look at this. They're red because I know that when I wear these shoes, they put me in a feeling of confidence, kind of like flirty, sort of fun, going out, and it delivers that kind of feeling to my body. So in a way, like I was planning to be Cinderella, and I didn't even know that Ivan was going to bring up Cinderella because I obviously got dressed today in this funny outfit.
Well, not me. I showed up halfway. Sorry, guys. I did put on a suit for you guys, but I do have so I'm somewhat showing up.
Well, you're fully showing up as you, and I'm fully showing up as me. And I was like, you know what? I got to put on those shoes because they're like the whole package. And I can't like sit here in a dress because I'm not really tall and my feet would hit the floor too. So, you know, there's always a dual purpose, but it's like, you know, these little things really do make a difference and they really do matter. And not to get too out there, but you know, in the shaman, I think it's the shamans, they recommend that you wear the color red and wear red shoes because that's like a color of purpose and moving forwards, and it's like success and money is all the color red. So there's wisdom everywhere for us to use, and it really does help when you take action with yourself, you know, when you do these things, right, as part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, and I always like adding color, so any color, because I just put yourself out there and like see the magic come towards you.
Yeah, exactly. I just love that. And it's also kind of like, you also want to think also about this whole like working from home pandemic thing. Like if that's what you're doing, because a lot of people are, and like Ivan does that, I do that all day long. I don't, obviously, we both work at our computers, but I always think about like, what do I want to put on today that's going to make me feel the best, right? And even if I'm going on a date, what am I going to feel that's going to make me feel the best so that he feels the best too? But it's always coming from the perspective of me feeling how I want to feel, and that coming from what I'm wearing, because I know that that helps booster my mental diet.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah. Well, so you guys, we've covered some really, really fun topics today. Ivan and I have both dressed up for you. We've also talked about how to be your own superhero, how to show up for yourself, because like we've said so many times, it really begins and ends with you anyways. So a link for booking with Ivan is in the comment box below. And thank you once again for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Go out there, wear something awesome, have awesome thoughts about yourself, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Make today awesome. Bye.